Good morning and welcome back to CityLine. We are in our fabulous final segment. With me, I have three individuals who are here to talk about a fabulous program within Associated Ministries and Catholic Community Services that addresses the deep and sensitive issue of homelessness here in our city. So please join me in welcoming Delmar Algee III. Hello,
yes, ma'am.
my friend.
Hello.
You are the Housing Program Manager at Catholic Community Services Family Housing Network. Welcome to CityLine.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. And I love, we were talking about Delmar Algee the first, the second, the third, but there will be no Delmar Algee.
I had to end it.
That's okay. You know, all good things end in time, and that's all right. You brought with you Mr. Gerrit Nyland. Hello, Gerrit.
Good morning.
Great to have you here. You are the Director of Client Information Systems for Catholic Community Services. It's so great to have you in the studio here. You're welcome. And then rounding out the big old comfy couch, Miss Valorie Crout, you are the Chief Program Officer for Associated Ministries. Welcome to CityLine.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's so great to have you, especially when we're talking about this. So Delmar, let's jump in. Can you explain what homelessness diversion is? That's a big title.
Sure. So, Amanda, essentially when someone is homeless, an individual or a family, the very first thing that they do is they have an option of either calling into a screening line or walking into what's called an on-demand location for what's called a diversion conversation. So what they do is they'll meet with a diversion specialist for about 90 minutes or so, in which they're having a strengths-based conversation. So that staff is really trained to sit down and see if they're able to pull strengths from that individual or that family to see if they can hopefully resolve or end that homeless crisis with that family over the course of 30 days. However, so essentially a diversion is diverting someone from the homeless system. But if that family or that individual feels as though they're not prepared for that type of short-term intervention, then what they're able to do is enter into that homeless system.
Okay. Oh, wow. I love that you said strength-based
Correct.
Conversation, because boy, at that point, that is what you need and what is so often overlooked when you're facing a crisis like that. Gerrit, what is the impact that diversion has on Pierce County, given where we are right now?
Well, when you look at how much homelessness there is in Pierce County,
Yeah.
I mean, we see a lot of it, and there's a lot we don't see. It's sort of hard to say how successful a program like this is because there's so much need. But really, the impact is it shortens the time that somebody spends homeless. So they're able to figure out how to exit their homelessness with some help from the system, and sometimes just some good thinking about what their options are. And so really, we see less people in Pierce County, and people are damaged less by being homeless because their episode is so much shorter.
Yeah, oh, and boy, I mean, to think about that time that you are out there, and if there is any kind of wish or prayer to shorten that time or even to cut it off and to have it not happen, I think is on everybody's heart. Delmar, what does the letter CHRP stand for? And then How did it come about?
So CHRP actually is an acronym that stands for Community Homeless Resolution Partnership. And essentially what it is it's a few of the different partners here in Pierce County that have come together to really do our very best to solve homelessness in different areas in which the system wasn't necessarily touching. So rural Pierce County and different places like that. And obviously Tacoma is the main hub for Pierce County, the most urban place. And so CHRP is being able to identify new partners to deputize them or to be able to prepare them to have those diversion types of conversations with folks that they see so that we can chip away at this thing.
I love that. So Gerrit, what are you trying to accomplish with CHRP, and who are you trying to help?
Well, CHRP's designed around really anybody that's experiencing homelessness. And our primary target are people that, as Delmar mentioned, are in areas that our core homeless system doesn't do a good job of responding to quickly.
So like downtown Tacoma.
Downtown Tacoma, we do great.
We do a great job.
Right. I mean,
Well,
people can
we're
get a
getting better.
conversation right away. Exactly. But there's some areas like Key Peninsula,
There we go.
or when we're getting out into something like Spanaway, we don't have services there, and so our goal is to make them immediately available there as well. So when somebody has, they're ready to start working on exiting homelessness, they can begin that work immediately. And also populations maybe we don't serve well. So perhaps the Latinx community, is a group that I worry about, that we aren't engaging with in ways that perhaps we could. And so this is an opportunity to bring some Latinx communities into the fold of homeless services.
Absolutely. I mean, when I think about that community, the Latinx community, there's so much fear in this country, and rightly so, that being homeless is safer than coming to an agency and saying, I need help, and therefore I might be tracked and sent back. So I share that fear, that culture and that community is falling through our fingertips here. When you think about rolling out CHRP, when do you think, Gerrit, the partnership will start?
So we've had a really good, kind of a large set of folks working on this, because it's changing a little bit of the entire homeless system in Pierce County. So we've been working with the county and with Associated Ministries together, and we're looking at our prototype basically rolling out at the start of the year. And we have a few agencies that we're going to work with, kind of to get the kinks out, and then probably around Census Day, when we're all going to get counted.
Excellent.
Amy, roll that in.
Yes, that was excellent.
Thank you. On April 1st, hopefully we're going to have a much wider availability to partners that are interested.
I love that. So how do you recruit community partners, Delmar? Ones that you know about and ones you don't know about?
So Amanda, settings like this, Gerrit and I, and as well as Valorie and other members of Catholic Community Services, our director, Alan Brown, we're really just going out and recruiting. We've gone to several different venues, and we've really dialed into the faith-based community to see if they're interested in potentially coming on board as a partner. Just other types of places in which folks approach their doors and say, hey, I'm homeless and I need some help. We're going directly to these different places to see if they'd be willing to partner with us in this whole just way of new way of ending homelessness.
Standing in the solution, absolutely. So what would an ideal community partner bring to this project, Gerrit?
So we're really looking for groups that are already engaging with folks experiencing homelessness, right? So
that's one.
Right, so the people that are homeless are part of the work of that group. It may be a food bank, it could be a church, some folks doing outreach, schools, right? Those are all ideal partners, hospitals. And the other thing is they've got to be willing to dedicate some volunteer staff time. We're going to offer some amazing training. Center for Dialogue and Resolution does some lovely stuff.
We love her.
Mary-Lise is awesome.
She's great.
Right? And the professionals at Associated Ministries, Catholic, we're gonna make it so that their staff and volunteers become experts in the homeless system. And so they've got to have a willingness to, dedicate that training time, and a willingness to spend time with people experiencing homelessness, to have this hour-and-a-half diversion conversation.
Yes, and the heart for it as well, because this is not something that you leave at the office when you're done checking off the boxes. This is a ministry of Cross Your Heart. Who have you struggled to serve, Delmar?
So as Gerrit had mentioned a few moments ago, folks in rural Pierce County, essentially those services are centralized here in Tacoma, Lakewood, and more of the urban areas. But people are still homeless in Gig Harbor and Key Peninsula and places like that. And so this, hopefully with the new CHRP initiative, we're able to reach those different folks that really have this barrier of getting to the services here in Tacoma.
Absolutely. Valorie, when I met you in the green room, you said, I only have one question. I'm only here for one question. So here it is. This training, and I can't wait to be a part of this training, is going to create a great opportunity for a lot of people to get involved in impact homelessness. However, this training is not for everyone. So if it's not for everyone, what are some of the other ways that people can get involved in our community?
Thank you for asking, Amanda, and I'm glad to be here to be able to provide opportunities for other people to get involved. Associated Ministries started, I think, at the beginning of 2017, community quarterly meetings. There was a lot of concern about the number of households that are experiencing homelessness, and so we were like, let's get out there and start educating folks. So once we educated folks, everybody in the room, everyone was just like jaw-dropping, like, what can we do to get involved? So we started these meetings, these community quarterly meetings, where it's a gathering of people of faith and social goodwill. We come together regularly. We hear from speakers, we educate ourselves about what homelessness looks like in our community, and we equip ourselves to be able to take tangible steps to impact homelessness. And so last year, we actually developed goals and strategies and output so we can measure our impact, and we can really see what we're doing, because it's so overwhelming. It's hard to, like, what can I do by donating to a shelter?
Absolutely.
You know? So this year we had different people do things like participate in the More Voice Advocacy Work Group, where we advocate at policy level for more affordable housing. We look at ways to donate items to shelter. We had one church come through and donate a van to a local youth shelter. So anything's on the table in terms of fulfilling the need. We had 6 affordable housing units go up through the different efforts of networking and people coming together. I want to say it's like 61 or 2 congregations have been represented at these different groups. We have had 424 commitments made so far. And that has been amazing. This next community quarterly meeting, I'm encouraging a lot of people to come out.
All right.
It's on December 12th at the Oasis of Hope Center from 5 to 7 p.m.
And we've been showing the website, so I think that people can get information on that as well.
Nice.
So I want to say thank you to all
Thank you for
three of
having
you,
us, Amanda.
for your ministry, for what you do, for your vision. And I want to have conversations with the three of you about what more I can do to help this movement. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
That wraps up another great segment of CityLine. It is always a pleasure and privilege to be in your home. We've given you some really great things to think about in this past hour, so please go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and above all, pay it forward. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at CityLine. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home. Place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago. But Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. From the